everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. These powerful words from Viktor Frankl challenge us to think deeply about what truly drives human existence. But what did this remarkable man mean when he spoke of freedom in the darkest of times? Viktor Frankl was an Austrian psychiatrist who survived the Nazi concentration camps during World War II. From this unimaginable suffering emerged logotherapy, a revolutionary approach to psychology that declares humanity's primary motivation is neither pleasure nor power, but meaning. Frankl discovered that even in the most dehumanizing conditions, people could find purpose and maintain their inner dignity. His insights transcended religious boundaries, offering a universal path to spiritual fulfillment that speaks to believers and non-believers alike. Imagine standing in a concentration camp, stripped of everything you once called yours, your family, your possessions, your very identity reduced to a number. Yet Frankl observed something extraordinary. Some prisoners maintained their humanity, while others crumbled. What made the difference? Those who survived with their spirits intact had discovered what Frankl called the spiritual dimension of human existence. This wasn't about religious doctrine or organized faith. It was about something deeper, more fundamental to our nature as human beings. The spiritual dimension, according to Frankl, is what separates us from animals. It's our capacity for self-awareness, our ability to step outside ourselves and observe our own thoughts and reactions. This is what he termed self-distanciation, when we can distance ourselves from our immediate circumstances. We gain the freedom to choose our response. A prisoner might lose everything external, but they retain the power to decide whether they'll become bitter or find meaning in their suffering. But how does this translate to our modern world? Today, we face a different kind of imprisonment, what Frankl called the existential vacuum. In our prosperous society, many people experience a profound emptiness. They have everything they thought they wanted, yet feel hollow inside. This isn't about lacking material possessions or even relationships. It's about lacking purpose, lacking a sense that their existence matters in some meaningful way. Consider the successful executive who climbs the corporate ladder only to ask, is this all there is? Or the young person scrolling through social media, surrounded by digital connections, yet feeling profoundly alone. These are symptoms of existential vacuum, a modern spiritual crisis that has nothing to do with whether someone attends church or temple. Frankl understood that spirituality isn't confined to religious institutions. It's woven into the very fabric of human consciousness. This brings us to one of Frankl's most revolutionary concepts, self-transcendence. Unlike self-actualization, which focuses inward, self-transcendence looks outward. It's the recognition that true fulfillment comes not from improving ourselves, but from dedicating ourselves to something greater than ourselves. This might be serving others, creating something beautiful, or simply loving another person deeply and authentically. Think about the moments in your life when you felt most alive, most fulfilled. Chances are, these weren't times when you were focused on your own happiness or success. They were probably moments when you forgot about yourself entirely, when you were completely absorbed in helping someone else, creating something meaningful, or experiencing deep connection with another person. This is self-transcendence in action. Frankl's experience in the camps revealed another crucial insight. Our values don't come from external authorities, but from our deepest encounters with existence itself. When everything is stripped away, we discover what truly matters. Some prisoners chose to share their last piece of bread with a fellow sufferer. Others hoarded whatever they could find. These choices revealed their true values, not what they said they believed, but what they actually lived by when it mattered most. This understanding of values carries profound implications for how we live today. Rather than accepting values handed down by tradition or imposed by society, logotherapy invites us to discover our own authentic values through honest self-examination. What would you do if everything familiar was taken away? What principles would guide your choices in the face of extreme adversity? These questions help us identify the values that truly matter to us, not just those we think should matter. The beauty of Frankl's approach is that it doesn't require us to abandon our religious beliefs or adopt new ones. Instead, it offers a framework for finding meaning that works regardless of our theological position. A devout Christian might find their deeper purpose through serving God, while an atheist might discover meaning through contributing to human knowledge or environmental protection. Both are engaging their spiritual dimension. Both are transcending themselves for something greater. But Frankl wasn't naive about human nature. He understood that finding meaning isn't always easy or comfortable. Sometimes meaning emerges through confronting unavoidable suffering. He distinguished between suffering we can change and suffering we cannot escape. When we face unavoidable pain, whether from loss, illness, or other life challenges, we still retain the freedom to choose how we respond. We can allow suffering to embitter us, or we can find ways to transform it into something meaningful. Consider someone caring for a parent with dementia. The situation cannot be changed, but the caregiver can choose to see their role as an expression of love and gratitude. They might discover reserves of patience and compassion they never knew they possessed. This doesn't make the situation easy, but it makes it meaningful. The suffering is transformed from meaningless burden into purposeful sacrifice. This concept challenges many contemporary approaches to happiness and well-being. Our culture often suggests that life should be comfortable, that we should avoid pain at all costs. Frankl offers a different perspective. Meaning is more important than happiness, and sometimes meaning requires us to embrace difficult experiences. This isn't masochism, it's wisdom. When we understand that our struggles can serve a purpose, we find strength we didn't know we had. Frankl also recognized that meaning isn't something we create arbitrarily. We don't simply decide what our lives mean and make it so. Instead, we discover meaning through authentic engagement with the world around us. Meaning reveals itself when we pay attention to what life is asking of us in each unique situation. Sometimes life asks us to work, sometimes to love, sometimes to suffer with dignity. Our task is to listen carefully and respond authentically. This listening requires what Frankl called responsibility. Literally, our ability to respond. Every moment presents us with a choice about how to respond to our circumstances. These responses shape not only our external lives, but our internal character. When we choose responses that align with our deepest values, we experience what Frankl termed authentic existence. We become who we truly are, not who others expect us to be. The practical applications of these insights extend far beyond therapy sessions. In education, teachers can help students discover their unique talents and how these might serve others. In business, leaders can create cultures where people find meaning in their work, not just paychecks. In relationships, partners can support each other's growth toward authenticity and self-transcendence. In personal development, individuals can focus less on achieving happiness and more on discovering purpose. Frankl's legacy continues to influence psychology, philosophy, and spiritual practice decades after his death in 1997. His insights bridge the gap between scientific psychology and spiritual wisdom, offering tools and perspectives that work regardless of one's religious background or philosophical orientation. Modern positive psychology has incorporated many of his ideas about meaning and purpose, with researchers like Martin Seligman acknowledging the central role that meaning plays in human flourishing and resilience. Existential therapy and existential psychology draw heavily on his concepts of freedom, responsibility, and the search for meaning. Therapists trained in these approaches help clients explore their authentic values, confront their mortality constructively, and find purpose even in the midst of psychological struggles. Rather than simply treating symptoms, existential therapists work with clients to address the underlying spiritual and philosophical questions that often drive emotional distress. Even business schools and leadership programs teach about finding purpose in professional life, echoing Frankl's emphasis on meaning over mere success or achievement. Management theories increasingly recognize that employees who find their work meaningful are more engaged, creative, and resilient. Organizations that successfully articulate their higher purpose and connect individual roles to that purpose often outperform competitors who focus solely on profits or market share. In the realm of personal spirituality, Frankl's ideas continue to offer a path for those who seek transcendence without traditional religious frameworks. His approach validates the spiritual longings that many people experience while respecting their intellectual integrity and need for authentic personal discovery. For believers, his work doesn't threaten their faith, but often deepens it by providing psychological insights that complement theological understanding. Yet perhaps the most powerful aspect of Frankl's message is its fundamental optimism about human nature. Despite witnessing humanity at its worst, he never lost faith in our capacity for goodness, for growth, for finding meaning even in the most challenging circumstances. He saw that humans have an unconquerable spirit, a dimension of existence that cannot be destroyed by external forces, no matter how brutal. This optimism isn't naive or shallow. It's been tested in the ultimate laboratory of human suffering and found to be true. When people discover their capacity for meaning-making, they often surprise themselves with their resilience, their compassion, their ability to transform pain into purpose. This discovery doesn't require perfect circumstances or special talents. It requires only the willingness to look honestly at our lives and ask what they might mean as we navigate our own challenges, whether great or small. Frankl's insights offer both comfort and challenge. They comfort us by reminding us that our struggles need not be meaningless, that even in our darkest moments, we retain essential freedoms. They challenge us by insisting that we take responsibility for our responses, that we actively seek meaning rather than passively wait for happiness to find us. The spiritual dimension of human existence, as Frankl understood it, is neither mystical nor mysterious. It's as practical as choosing kindness over cruelty, as concrete as dedicating our talents to something worthwhile, as simple as loving others authentically. These choices create meaning, and meaning creates the foundation for a life worth living, regardless of external circumstances. In a world that often seems divided between rigid religious orthodoxy and materialistic skepticism, Frankl offers a third way, a path to spiritual fulfillment that honors both reason and transcendence, both individual freedom and universal human values. This path remains open to anyone willing to walk it, promising not easy answers, but meaningful questions, not comfortable certainties, but authentic engagement with the mystery of human existence. If this exploration of Viktor Frankl's wisdom has sparked something within you, consider subscribing to our channel, where we continue examining life's deepest questions. Share this message with someone who might need to hear it. And remember Frankl's enduring truth: those who have a why to live for can bear almost any how.